Hello, I'm Brenda Imanis and welcome back to Sadler's Wells here in London for the last of our 3 special programmes celebrating the power of dance. More world-class performances from some of the country's leading dance companies and rising stars lined up for you in our final programme. Choreographer Kenneth Tyndall and Northern Ballet bring us a poignant new work inspired by the events of the past year. COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter movement takes centre stage in Anthony and Kel Matsina's searing Shades of Blue. From French choreographer Marion Motin, an explosive debut collaboration with world-renowned Ramberts. And we'll see a specially filmed revival of Contagion, Shobana Jeyasingh's potent work about the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, now charged with contemporary resonance. That's all here on Dancing Nation. All of the newly filmed performances showcased here at Dancing Nation have been made possible by following strict COVID protocols and working to the latest government guidelines. Our dancers have done whatever is needed to bring you these performances safely, testing, social distancing, working in bubbles and adapting choreography. Watching the dance on show in our 3 programmes, I'm sure you'll agree that all the effort was definitely worth it. To start this final programme, we're going to see a vivid and dramatic dance, a work for our times, choreographed by brothers Anthony and Kel Matsina. A response to the defining events of the past year, from COVID-19 to the Black Lives Matter movement. This dance is full of fury, confinement and isolation. Narrative and language play an important role in the work of these 2 emerging artists, as you'll see. And this piece includes a striking speech written and performed by Kel Matsina. This is dance about the power of protest and the longing for freedom. This is Shades of Blue.
Come on! Come on!
Are you numb yet? I'll take your silence as a yes. Honestly, I'm jealous of you. Jealous of the fact that you could turn it off, pack it neatly into a little box and just put it away. You see, I've tried. I was told to try. I've been trying so hard to rest my eyes, but fear lays next to me and she holds me tightly in her arms. But I'm still cold. And no amount of tears can put out the fires in my head. They told my ancestors to look down at their own reflection, just so they could be drowned where they weren't paying attention. But here's the part they didn't mention. They meant it. They want to see my blood on brick walls and concrete pavements. They want to see me beat down and trapped in the age of the caveman. They want to see me behind steel bars preying on witness statements. Innocent. You see, my freedom hangs in the balance, but it's tipping towards ignorance. You know, I used to have allies. Our weapons crafted in the form of t-shirts and protests screaming for justice, but now it's silent. You know, I never liked the noise, but this silence is frightening. You see, in this black and white world, you can smell roses, but you can't see blood. So we may have broken the chains, but the scars remain. And so I ask again, are you numb yet? Are you numb? 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 Are you numb?
Matsina Productions with Shades of Blue, choreographed by Anthony and Kel Matsina. Proof that, despite the challenges of making work, the experiences of the past year have provoked a passionate, creative response. And like Shades of Blue, our next performance is another new work reflecting on recent events. States of Mind was first seen at the Leeds Playhouse in October 2020, and we're so pleased to present an excerpt from the work today on Dancing Nation. It was choreographed for Northern Ballet by Kenneth Tyndall, who has created so much wonderful work for the company, including the smash hit Casanova. Inspired by some of the headlines, feelings and changes to our way of life that we've all endured in recent months, States of Mind is Northern Ballet's response in movement to the times we are living through.
I am addressing you now at a time of heightened challenge, unprecedented in our lifetime and in the life of our nation. In a time that has brought so many of us grief, huge practical challenges, and has changed almost everything about the way we live. It can feel that we are in the densest part of the forest. It can feel as though we have no control. Can I walk away? How do I respond? And how long must I bury my anxiety and anger? An hour, a day, a lifetime. Separation from those we love is the most singular pain. A generation locked down, and our instinct as humans is to heal the pain of loneliness. Breathe, consider love, all around us, heart-soaring stories of those brought together. The answer is in giving. Love, 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 love.
Northern Ballet with States of Mind, choreographed by Kenneth Tyndall. We come now to a revival of a work created by critically acclaimed choreographer Shobana Jeyasingh in 2018. Blisteringly dramatic, Contagion commemorates the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, a disease that killed more people than were lost in the First World War. In our own times, the work takes on a new and powerful resonance. Here to tell us more about Contagion is its choreographer, Shobana Jeyasingh.
So I was asked to make a piece to commemorate the First World War, and I realized that there had been the Spanish flu pandemic, which actually killed far more people than the First World War itself. And the things that sort of amazed me was the tenacity and the behavior of the virus, as well as the caregiving that was done by ordinary women as mothers, sisters, and also as volunteer nurses. But of course, I never realized I was going to be caught up in a pandemic myself.
Quickly shape-shifting and mutating, Contagion emulates aspects of a virus as 8 female dancers discover the strength and weakness of the human body battling an unseen enemy. Here is Contagion.
I received a telegram. Your wife is gravely ill. Come immediately. I was 22. I became aware of the intensity of her love just as she was ready to take leave of life. The river Ganges was swollen with dead bodies. At my in-laws' house, I learned that my wife had passed away. As I was walking towards my house, I saw my cousin's corpse being carried to the cremation site. My head grew dizzy. I sat down on the ground to take a hold of myself. At home, I found my cousin's wife lying ill on a pallet. They had 4 sons and a baby girl who was still nursing. Words cannot describe how pitiful the scene was. How helpless. How tender. My sister-in-law passed away on the 3rd day after my cousin's death. The nursing child was also sick. I slept that night holding her. She too passed away in the morning. I buried her in the riverbank. Then Uncle died. One more corpse to cart to the Ganges. My sister-in-law's 3 sons contracted fever. My cousin's eldest son was 15 years old. My young daughter, a year old. My family disappeared in the blink of an eye. In whichever direction I turned, I saw darkness.
Beginning of the outbreak, it was most difficult to persuade those who had not yet seen other cases that the condition was not ordinary pneumonia. The physical signs were most variable. In most cases, the patient had been ill for a day or two, 36 or 48 hours. Due to the very virulent microbic toxemia, the patient generally began to complain in some way of his chest, often of pain in one side or other of the thorax. There was also cough, short, dry, and hacking to begin with, looser and associated with frothy or blood-stained or purulent. The rate of breathing became accelerated out of all proportion to the physical signs, and yet without any particular dry and pungent. Quite as often, the whole of the patient's body and limbs would be covered with profuse flushed and red, with a peculiar drooping of the eyelids giving a weary look. Rapidly changed to one of progressive cyanosis. It was then that one knew that the prognosis had now altered so completely that the patient was almost certain, with almost uniform certainty, by reason of their colour alone. The whole face, and particularly the lips and ears, passed through the stages of dark red to purplish red to reddish purple to absolute purple, of dark red epistaxis to purplish nosebleed to reddish purple, coughing blood was also common, with the expectoration of bright red liquid blood in amounts varying from half a teaspoonful to several ounces. Delirium and coma occurred often enough amongst the bad cases. When delirium did occur, it was of the noisy, trembling, shouting out, the low, muttering, restless type, the patient picking at the bedclothes or at objects round about him, with head thrown back, mouth half open, a ghastly sallow pallor of the cyanosed face, purple lips and ears. A dreadful sight.
I was very ill. I do remember being covered with a linseed meal poultice over the entire front of my body, from my throat to the bottom of my stomach, and pleading with Mum to take it off, and her placing her hand gently on my chest and saying, "Just a few more minutes, love." Then I was dried and I was gently turned on my face, and another poultice applied, completely covering my back. I don't know how many days and nights this was kept up. Dr. Hume told Mum it was due to her splendid and constant nursing that we all got over it. And she sat up during the nights to give us our medicine and kept the fire going. And she had to do it all by herself.
There wasn't a sound in the village. The silence was to be broken only by the screeching of owls, which until then had been unknown there and now mysteriously appeared in the rooms of the dying at night. Organized a procession at night, which was led by Father Branches Martins. It went around the whole village. Although there was no electric light in those days, there were so many candles and lanterns that the village was bathed in a sea of light that night.
Contagion, performed by Shobana Jeyasingh Dance. Such powerful and resonant storytelling. We've come to the final work in Dancing Nation now. It's a performance from world-famous Ramberts. I'm delighted to say Ramberts' chief executive and executive producer, Helen Shute, is here with me now. It has been a surreal and quite challenging time for dance companies. How have you guys survived? What have you been doing?
We've been really lucky. We've had incredible support from our major funders, the Arts Council and partners like Sadler's Wells to make sure that we could continue to imagine a future for the company. The early months were really challenging with the dancers at home working on Zoom, but they took class together every morning. Our artistic director, Benoit, was there with them, coaching them, encouraging them, setting them creative tasks. And we made the decision to let go of the idea of performing in front of audiences for at least a year. And in that time, we developed a digital platform to allow us to share our work over our platform Ramberts Home Studio. And so we've been making work in the studio and broadcasting live to audiences all around the world from our building, which has been a really exciting new venture for the company.
As terrifying as exciting. Yes. Now, the piece we're going to show is Rouge. It's a collaboration between yourselves and the French choreographer, Marianne Motown. Now, she's got a formidable reputation for working with the likes of Christine and the Queens and Dua Lipa. Why did you guys want to work with her?
The thing I love about working with our artistic director, Benoit, is that he never makes the obvious choices and he really hunts out new voices. And he'd seen Marianne's work and he felt that she had a real voice and a story to tell beyond choreographing for these incredible pop acts. So he invited her to come workshop with the dancers, and the result was an incredible collaboration between her and the 6 dancers that she chose to work with. It really brings out the individuality of the dancers. You see hints of her pop influence, but she's really found a storytelling voice, and we wanted to give her an opportunity to put that on stage.
And did they respond with a renewed enthusiasm?
Absolutely, and I think I'm always overwhelmed by the Ramberts' versatility, the dancers' versatility, their ability to respond to the different styles that are thrown at them. So these are dancers, some of whom have classical training, some of whom come from contemporary backgrounds, but they took on Marianne's style and energy and made it their own. It's really exciting to see.
Helen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, let's see Rouge, a vibrant dance work asking, can you leave the artificial world? Can you reconnect with real life and real bodies? Here's the answer, an explosive riot of movement and colour emerging from a world on red alert. Ramberts performing Rouge, choreographed by Marion Motin. A brilliant example of what today's event has been all about. Dance that makes you think, feel, get curious, question. Performance that moves us, inspires us and connects us together. Now, if you want to revisit or discover for the first time any of today's performances, check out our 3 programmes on BBC iPlayer if you're in the UK, or outside of the UK over on the Sadler's Wells website. And what an incredible day, a true celebration of the power of dance. Let's hope all of us, dancers and audiences, will be back at Sadler's Wells and venues all around the country again, enjoying live dance together very soon. For now, though, from Dancing Nation and all of us here at Sadler's Wells, goodbye.